Let me tell you something about starting a business. If you don't have a plan, you're not running a business, you're gambling. And gambling isn't a strategy. It's a sure way to lose everything you've worked so hard for. I've seen it time and time again. People dive into entrepreneurship with excitement and passion, but no clear direction. They think I've got a great idea, and that's enough to make it work. But the truth is, a great idea without a plan is like trying to build a house without a blueprint. You might get the walls up, but sooner or later, the whole thing is going to come crashing down. A business plan isn't just a nice to have, it's your foundation. It's your roadmap. It's the thing that keeps you grounded, focused, and on track when the road gets bumpy, which it inevitably will.
Why is a business plan so important? Because it forces you to think through every aspect of your business before you jump in. It makes you ask the hard questions. What are you trying to accomplish?
Who are your customers? How will you make money? What challenges will you face, and how will you overcome them? These aren't questions you can afford to answer on the fly. They require time, thought, and research. And here's the thing. The process of writing a business plan is just as important as the plan itself. It makes you pause, dig deep, and get real about what it's going to take to turn your idea into a sustainable, profitable venture. It's not always fun, but it's necessary. Because let me tell you, it's a lot easier to fix a mistake on paper than it is to fix it after you've poured your time, money, and energy into something that's not working. A business plan also gives you clarity. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day chaos of running a business that you lose sight of the bigger picture. Plan keeps you focused on your goals and reminds you of why you started in the first place. It helps you prioritize what matters most and avoid distractions that can derail your progress. And let's be honest, when things get tough, and they will, having a clear plan to fall back on can be the difference between staying the course and throwing in the towel. It's your anchor in the storm, your North Star when you feel lost.
But it's not just about you. A business plan is also your ticket to earning the trust of others. Whether you're looking for investors seeking a loan or just trying to convince your spouse that this crazy idea of yours is worth pursuing, a solid plan shows that you're serious.
It says, I've done my homework. I've thought this through. I know what I'm doing. People want to invest in businesses and business owners that have a clear vision and a strategy to back it up.
Without a plan, you're just another dreamer with an idea. With a plan, you're a leader with a vision.
And let me tell you something else. Having a plan doesn't mean you're stuck. Business plan isn't carved in stone. It's a living, breathing document that evolves as your business grows and changes. You'll make adjustments along the way, and that's okay. In fact, it's necessary. But without a starting point, without a clear path to follow, you'll find yourself wandering aimlessly, making decisions based on guesswork instead of strategy.
And that's not how successful businesses are built.
So here's the bottom line. If you're serious about starting a business, you need a plan. Not because it's easy or fun, but because it's the foundation for everything you're about to build. A business plan is your roadmap to success, your safety net when things go wrong, and your proof to yourself and others that you're ready to do this the right way. Don't skip this step. Take the time to think research and write it down. Because when you've got a clear plan, you're not just dreaming about success. You're creating it. Let's get to work. Your future depends on it. Let me tell you something important. Before you start building your business, you need to know why you're building it in the first place. Your mission is the heart and soul of your business. It's the reason you get out of bed every morning and put in the work, even when it's hard, even when it's frustrating, even when the odds feel stacked against you. Business without a clear mission is like a ship without a compass. You might be moving, but you're not going anywhere. And eventually you'll run aground. Your mission is what keeps you focused, what keeps you motivated, and what guides every decision you make. So If you're serious about starting a business, the first thing you need to do is define your why. Ask yourself, why does this business need to exist? Who am I helping and how am I making their life better? These aren't just fluffy feel good questions. They're the foundation of everything you do. A strong mission isn't just about making money, although that's important too. It's about making an impact. It's about solving a problem, filling a gap, or creating something valuable that didn't exist before. Maybe you're starting a business because you've experienced a problem firsthand and you want to help others avoid the same frustration.
Maybe you've seen a need in your community that no one else is addressing. Maybe you have a passion or skill that, can make a difference in people's lives. Whatever it is, your mission should come from a place of purpose and service.
Because let me tell you, when your mission is rooted in helping others, it becomes a whole lot easier to push through the challenges and stay committed for the long haul. But your mission isn't just for you. It's for your customers too. People want to buy from businesses they believe in. They want to feel connected to something bigger than just a product or service. When you can clearly communicate your why, you're not just selling them something. You're inviting them to be part of a story.
Think about the businesses you admire. Chances are they have a strong mission that resonates with you on a personal level.
Whether it's a coffee shop committed to sourcing ethical beans or a tech company revolutionizing the way we work, their mission sets them apart. Your business can do the same. When you define your mission and share it with your customers, you're not just building a business. You're building a brand. And here's the thing. Your mission will guide every decision you make. It's your litmus test for whether an opportunity aligns with your values and goals. Should you launch that new product? Should you partner with that company? Should you invest in that marketing campaign? The answer lies in your mission. If it doesn't align, you say no. If it doesn't align, you say no. If it helps you move closer to your purpose, you say yes. Your mission keeps you from getting distracted by shiny objects and helps you stay true to what really matters. It's your anchor, your North Star, and your foundation. But let's get real. Defining your mission isn't always easy. It requires you to dig deep and get honest with yourself about what you want and why you want it. And why you want it. And why you want it. It might take some time, and that's okay.
Start by writing down your thoughts. What motivates you? What problems do you care about solving? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? Don't overthink it, right? Don't overthink it. Just write. Over time, you'll start to see patterns and themes emerge, and your mission will become clear. And when it does, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your team, your customers, and your community. Let them see the heart behind your business and watch how it transforms the way they connect with you.
Here's the bottom line. A business without a mission is just a job. It might pay the bills, but it won't give you the sense of purpose and fulfillment that comes from building something meaningful. When you know your why, you're not just working. You're building a legacy. You're making an impact. And that's the kind of business that lasts. So take the time to define your mission. Write it down. Live it out. Let it guide you every step of the way. Because when you're clear on your why, nothing can stop you from reaching your goals. Let's make it happen.
Let me tell you something critical. If you don't know your market and your customers, you're not running a business. You're running a guessing game. And guessing doesn't pay the bills.
Too many entrepreneurs fall in love with their idea without ever asking if anyone else will. They think, this is brilliant. People will line up to buy it. But here's the truth. The market doesn't care about your opinion. It cares about value.
It cares about whether your product or service solves a real problem or fulfills a real desire. And the only way to know that is to do the work, dig deep, and understand your customers inside and out. If you skip this step, you're building your business on assumptions, and assumptions don't lead to success.
The first thing you need to do is get crystal clear on who your customers are. Not everyone is your customer, and trying to sell to everyone is a fast track to burnout and failure. Your job is to identify your ideal customer, The person who needs what you're offering, values what you bring to the table, and is willing to pay for it. Who are they? What's their age, their income, their lifestyle? What are their biggest frustrations, their dreams, their goals? What keeps them up at night? And how does your product or service help them? The more specific you can get, the better. You don't just want to know what they buy. You want to know why they buy. What motivates them? What drives their decisions? When you understand that, you're not just selling, you're connecting. But knowing your customers is only half the battle. You also need to know your market, the broader landscape in which your business operates. What does the competition look like? Who are the big players and what are they doing well? More importantly, where are they falling short? Your competitors aren't your enemies. They're your teachers. Study them. Learn from their successes and their mistakes, but don't stop there. Look for gaps in the market. Hey, what's missing? What are customers asking for that no one is providing? That's where opportunity lives. And let me tell you, when you find that sweet spot where your strengths align with an unmet need, you've struck gold.
Now, I know this might sound like a lot of work, but let me ask you this. Would you rather spend time researching your market now or spend years struggling to sell a product no one wants?
Doing your homework up front isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. And the good news is you don't have to be a marketing genius to get this right. Start with the tools you already have. Use Google to research trends and demand in your industry. Tap into social media to see what people are talking about, what they're liking, and what they're liking, and what they're complaining about. Conduct surveys or interviews with potential customers. Even a simple conversation with someone in your target audience can give you invaluable insights.
But don't just stop at research. Listen to your customers' words, their frustrations, their hopes. When you really listen, they'll tell you exactly what they need. And here's the kicker. People don't just want to buy products. They want to buy solutions. They want to buy outcomes. They don't care about the features of your product as much as they care about how it makes their life easier, better, or more enjoyable. When you understand your customers and your market, you're not just selling, you're solving. And that's what creates loyal customers and long-term success.
Finally, let's talk about adaptability, because markets and customers change. What works today might not work tomorrow, and that's okay, as long as you're paying attention. Keep a finger on the pulse of your industry and your audience. Stay curious, stay humble, and stay willing to evolve. The businesses that thrive aren't the ones that refuse to change. They're the ones that listen, learn, and adapt. Here's the bottom line. Understanding your market and your customers isn't optional. It's the foundation of everything else you do. It's how you create products and services that people actually want to buy.
It's how you stand out in a crowded market. And it's how you build a business that lasts.
So don't skip this step. Do the work, know your customers better than they know themselves, and watch how it transforms your business. Let's get to work. The answers are out there. You just have to find them. Let me give it to you straight. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And if you don't have a financial plan, you're flying blind. Too many entrepreneurs jump into their business without a clue about what it's going to cost or how they're going to make money. They think, I'll figure it out as I go. But let me tell you, that kind of thinking leads straight to failure. A solid financial plan isn't just about crunching numbers. It's about building a clear, realistic picture of what it takes to make your business work. It's about being honest with yourself, knowing your costs, and having a strategy to stay profitable. Without a plan, you're not running a business, you're gambling. And gambling isn't a strategy. The first step in mapping out your financial plan is understanding your startup costs. What's it actually going to take to get this business off the ground? I'm not talking about guesswork. I'm talking about real numbers.
Break it down. Equipment, supplies, inventory, marketing, website development, legal fees, permits, insurance. It all adds up. Write it down. Be specific. And don't forget to include a cushion for unexpected expenses, because trust me, something will come up. Knowing your startup costs isn't just about budgeting. It's about preparing yourself mentally and financially for the journey ahead.
Next, let's talk about revenue. How is your business going to make money? And no, people will buy it. It isn't a plan. You need to know exactly how your product or service generates income. What's your pricing strategy? How many units or clients do you need to break even? What's your profit margin? Here's a tip. Don't set your prices based on what you think people will pay. Set them based on the value you provide and the costs you need to cover. Too many small business owners underprice their offerings because they're afraid of scaring off customers, but that's a fast track to burnout. You're not running a charity. You're running a business. Know your worth and price accordingly.
But it's not just about making money. It's about managing it. That's where cash flow comes in. Cash flow is the lifeblood of your business. And if you're not paying attention to it, you're in trouble. You need to know how much cash is coming in, how much is going out, and when it's happening. Even a profitable business can fail if the timing of cash flow doesn't line up. Imagine having a big payment due tomorrow, but your biggest client won't pay for another 2 weeks.
That's a cash flow problem, and it's a killer.
The solution: create a cash flow projection. Look ahead and plan for the peaks and valleys. And always have a reserve fund to cover unexpected shortfall.
Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Debt. Debt is not your friend. I know it's tempting to take out a loan or swipe a credit card to cover your startup costs, but let me be clear, debt adds risk and stress to your business.
When you're paying interest every month, that's money you could be reinvesting in growth. When you're beholden to lenders, your decisions are driven by fear instead of strategy. The best way to start a business is to bootstrap it.
Use your savings, scale your expenses to fit your budget, and grow as you go. If you can't afford to pay for something in cash, you're not ready for it. Build your business on a foundation of freedom, not debt.
Finally, don't forget to plan for profitability. Profit isn't what's left over after you pay your expenses. It's what you plan for. From day one, set a goal for how much profit you want to make and build your budget around that goal. Think of profit as your reward for taking the risk of starting a business. It's what allows you to reinvest, grow, and eventually pay yourself. And yes, you should pay yourself. Too many entrepreneurs neglect to include their own paycheck in their financial plan. But let me tell you, if your business isn't supporting you, it's not sustainable.
Here's the bottom line. A financial plan is your safety net. It's what keeps you grounded, disciplined, and focused on what matters most. It's not about being perfect. It's about being prepared. When you know your numbers, you can make decisions with confidence. You can adapt to challenges without panicking. And you can build a business that's not just surviving, but thriving. So take the time to map out your financial plan. Write it down. Commit to it. Because when you take control of your money, you take control of your future. Let's get to work. Your business and your bank account. Well, thank you. Let me tell you something that can make or break your business. It's not enough to have a great idea or even a solid plan. You need a clear step-by-step action plan to make it happen. Too many people stop at the dreaming stage.
They write down big goals, maybe even a detailed business plan, but then they get stuck. They look at everything they need to do, and it feels overwhelming.
They don't know where to start, so they freeze.
But let me be clear. Nothing changes until you take action. A dream without a plan is just a wish, and a plan without action is just a piece of paper. If you want to turn your vision into reality, you need to break it down into actionable steps, small, manageable tasks you can tackle one at a time.
The first step in creating an action plan is to get specific. What exactly do you need to do to launch your business? I'm not talking about vague goals like start marketing or build a website. I'm talking about clear, detailed tasks that you can check off a list.
Instead of start marketing, write down, set up a business Instagram account, post 3 times a week, and engage with followers daily. Instead of build a website, right? Choose a platform, design the homepage, and set up a product page. See the difference?
Specific actions are what move you forward. They give you clarity, focus, and a sense of accomplishment every time you complete one. Next, prioritize your tasks. Not everything needs to happen at once, and trying to do everything at the same time will only lead to burnout. Start with the essentials, the things that will have the biggest impact on getting your business off the ground. Maybe that's registering your business, securing the tools or inventory you need, or finding your first customers. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do today that will bring me closer to launching?
Focus on that and then move on to the next thing. Focus on that and then move on to the next thing.
Remember, it's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about making progress, one step at a time.
Now, let's talk about deadlines. A goal without a deadline is just a dream. If you don't set a timeline for your tasks, they'll linger indefinitely. And before you know it, months or even years will pass without any real progress.
Be realistic, but firm with yourself. Assign deadlines to each task and hold yourself accountable. If you struggle with procrastination, break your deadlines into smaller milestones. For example, instead of finish business plan by next month, set mini deadlines like complete market research by this Friday and draft financial projections by next Tuesday. The smaller the step, the more achievable it feels, and the more likely you are to follow through. And here's a pro tip. Use tools to stay organized. Whether it's a simple notebook, a Google Doc, or a project management app like Trello or Asana, having a system to track your tasks and deadlines is a game changer.
Write down everything you need to do, categorize your tasks, and check them off as you go. There's something incredibly satisfying about seeing your progress laid out in front of you.
And let me tell you, momentum is powerful. The more tasks you complete, the more motivated you'll feel to keep going. But let's get real. Life happens. Unexpected challenges will come up and not everything will go according to plan. That's okay. The key is to stay flexible and adapt when needed. If something isn't working, don't be afraid to adjust your approach. If a task is taking longer than expected, reassess your timeline and adjust your priorities. The beauty of an action plan is that it's a living document. It evolves with you and your business. Just make sure you're still moving forward, even if it's not as fast as you'd hoped. Progress, no matter how small, is still progress. And don't forget to celebrate your wins, no matter how small they seem. Every task you complete is a step closer to your goal. Found your first supplier? Celebrate it. Got your first follower on social media? Celebrate it. Every little victory adds up, and those moments of celebration will keep you motivated for the long haul. Here's the bottom line. Creating a step-by-step action plan is what turns your dreams into reality. It's what bridges the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. So take the time to map it out. Get specific, prioritize your tasks, set deadlines, and stay flexible. And most importantly, start. Don't wait for the perfect moment because it doesn't exist. Start where you are with what you have and take that first step. Because when you break your goals into actions, you're not just dreaming about success. You're making it happen. Let's get to work. Your future is waiting. Let me tell you something you need to hear. No matter how good your business plan is, no matter how detailed your action steps are, life has a way of throwing curveballs. The market changes, customer needs shift, competitors show up, and sometimes things just don't go the way you thought they would. And that's okay. Flexibility isn't a weakness, it's a strength. The businesses that succeed aren't the ones that never face challenges. They're the ones that adapt, pivot, and keep moving forward no matter what. Having a plan is essential, but knowing when to adjust that plan is just as important.
You're not carving your business in stone. You're building it in clay, shaping and refining it as you go. That's how great businesses are made.
The first step in staying flexible is realizing that change is inevitable. The market isn't static, and neither is your business. What works today might not work tomorrow. And here's the truth. You're not going to get everything right the first time.
You're going to make mistakes. You're going to try things that don't work. That's not failure. That's learning. Every misstep is an opportunity to gather information, adjust your approach, and come back stronger.
But to do that, you need to evaluate your progress regularly. You can't just set your plan in motion and hope for the best. You've got to check in, analyze your results, and ask yourself what's working, what's not, and what needs to change. Start by tracking your key metrics, whether it's revenue, customer acquisition, website traffic, or social media engagement. Know what success looks like for your business and measure it consistently. Don't just guess. Use real data to guide your decisions. Numbers don't lie, and they'll give you a clear picture of what's actually happening in your business. But don't stop at the numbers. Listen to your customer. Their feedback is gold. What are they loving about your product or service? What's frustrating them? What do they wish you offered? Your customers are your best resource for figuring out how to improve. Pay attention to what they're telling you and use that information to adapt. But let me be clear, staying flexible doesn't mean chasing every shiny object that comes your way. It doesn't mean abandoning your plan every time you hit a bump in the road. Flexibility is about making intentional adjustments, not impulsive changes. Before you pivot, ask yourself, is this change in line with my mission? Does it serve my customers? Does it move my business closer to my goals? If the answer is yes, make the change.
If the answer is no, stay the course. Flexibility is a balance between staying true to your vision and being open to new opportunity. And here's the thing. Change doesn't just happen when things go wrong. It happens when you grow. As your business evolves, your needs, goals, and challenges will evolve too. What worked when you were just starting out might not work as you scale. That's why it's so important to revisit your plan regularly. Set aside time every month or quarter to evaluate your progress. Look at your metrics, review your goals, and ask yourself, what's next? This isn't about overhauling your business every time you sit down. It's about staying aligned, focused, and proactive.
Finally, don't forget to celebrate your progress. It's easy to get so focused on what's next that you forget how far you've come. Every milestone, every lesson, every step forward is worth acknowledging. Celebrate the wins, no matter how small they seem. They're proof that you're growing, learning, and moving closer to your goals. And let those celebrations fuel your motivation to keep going. So here's the bottom line. Staying flexible and evaluating your progress isn't just about surviving. It's about thriving. It's about building a business that's strong enough to adapt to challenges and smart enough to seize opportunities. It's about staying committed to your mission while being open to growth and change. And most importantly, it's about staying the course, even when the road gets tough. Because the businesses that succeed aren't the ones that never face setbacks. They're the ones that refuse to give up. So stay flexible, stay focused, and keep moving forward. Your best days are ahead of you. Let's make it happen.